Did you know that as of today, only 5 women have been awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics? This category boasts the lowest representation of female awardees, constituting a shockingly low percentage of 1.8% out of 224 recipients. For most of her career, Maria Goeppert Mayer worked just for the fun of doing physics, without pay or status or a tenured position. She was 58 before she became a full professor. And yet she made major contributions to the growing understanding of nuclear physics, including the nuclear shell model. This video explores into Mayer's early years, the challenges she confronted as a woman in science, her contribution to the Manhattan Project, and the groundbreaking research that ultimately earned her the Nobel Prize in Physics. Maria Goeppert Mayer's story begins on June 28, 1906, in Katowice, Germany, now Katowice, Poland. Born into a family that valued education, on her father's side, she is the 7th straight generation of university professors. When she enrolled in University of Göttingen in 1924, fewer than 1 in 10 German university students was female. The University of Göttingen was a center of modern physics in the 1920s, with faculty such as Max Born and Werner Heisenberg. Robert Oppenheimer and Enrico Fermi were among the students, with the intention of becoming a mathematician. But soon she found herself more attracted to physics. This was the time when quantum mechanics was young and exciting. She was awarded her doctorate in 1930. Despite her academic brilliance, Mayer faced formidable obstacles as a woman in the male-dominated field of physics. Full-time employment as a professor, however, proved more elusive than the Nobel Prize. For 3 decades, Goeppert Mayer followed her husband, the chemist Joseph Mayer, to Johns Hopkins University, then Columbia University, then the University of Chicago. At each university, she worked as a fellow, or research associate, or volunteer associate professor. But because of anti-nepotism rules, none of these universities gave her a salary or a full-time position. These rules, created at many universities to prevent patronage, had by this time lost their original purpose and were primarily used to prevent the employment of women married to faculty members. The urgency of World War II prompted the U.S. government to treat Goeppert Mayer's expertise with more respect than its major universities did. She was volunteering at Columbia in the late 1930s and early 1940s when the university was conducting top-secret research to enrich uranium for an atomic bomb. After Pearl Harbor, Goeppert Mayer took over Enrico Fermi's classes, for which she was not paid. At the end of 1941, the U.S. entered the war, and all available scientists were used for war aims. She also worked on bomb research, for which she was paid by the U.S. government. She also worked briefly with Edward Teller on the Manhattan Project in Los Alamos, where they were developing the hydrogen bomb. Goeppert Mayer was torn when it came to her work on the Manhattan Project and grappled with the ethical implications of her work but expressed relief when her part of the project failed. After the war, she and her husband Joe went to the Atomic Research Center in Chicago. Now a professor, albeit unpaid, Goeppert Mayer developed her theory of the onion-like structure of the atomic nucleus, which had previously been imagined to be unstructured. She proposed that inside the nucleus, protons and neutrons are arranged in a series of nucleon layers, like the layers of an onion, with neutrons and protons rotating around each other at each level. During the same time but working independently, German physicist Hans Jensen reached the same conclusion. For this she received the Nobel Prize in 1963 together with Eugene Wigner and Hans Jensen. The pinnacle of Maria Goeppert Mayer's career came in 1963 when she became the first woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Physics for theoretical work. Notably, she became only the 2nd woman in history, following Marie Curie, to receive the Nobel Prize in Physics. And would be the last for over half a century, until Donna Strickland was awarded the prize in 2018. By that point she was, finally, a full professor. The University of California, San Diego, hired Goeppert Mayer in 1960, more than a decade after discovering the nuclear shell model, and 30 years after beginning her career as a scientist. Goeppert Mayer died due to a heart failure in San Diego, California, on February 20, 1972, aged 65. Maria Goeppert Mayer's journey from battling gender biases to Nobel laureate serves as a beacon of inspiration in the scientific community. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more insightful content, share with your friends, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest breakthroughs in science. Until next time, keep stretching your brain.